welcome to another episode of the Brit Life Daily Podcast. My name is Akinlayo Laide and I'm a psychologist specializing in clinical psychology. Thank you for tuning in. For today's episode, I'll be discussing internalized criticism and I will be sharing tips on how you can manage negative criticism. So for today, I will discuss about what internalized criticism is all about and how it impacts your mental health. Thank you for following. I'll be starting today's episode by discussing a character who I call Tayo. Tayo is a 34-year-old man who struggles maintaining high esteem despite frequent validation from others. He often doubts his abilities, even when his colleagues tell him, Tayo, you are doing well, your work is okay. Tayo wouldn't listen to them, and he always finds himself trying to fix something about what he has done, and he always never feels satisfied about his accomplishment. Looking back, this struggle didn't begin at the recent moment. It started in his early days when Tayo lived with his mom, who frequently criticized him, calling him a dull boy. As you know, our mothers and our parents will say, you are low, you don't know this, you don't know that. Must I always complain? And that was how Tayo mom was. And the mother never knew that those words were getting at Tayo. And over time, Tayo internalized this harsh criticism and began to see himself as someone who wasn't good enough, and this became his reality up until he was an adult. So this internalized criticism lingers on, and that was why he undervalues his achievements and overestimates others. Even when others tell him that your work is okay and it is objectively better than others, he always sees flaws in his efforts and holds others in high regard. And if we will critically be sincere to ourselves, sometimes we too will do that. So we should not just name it as it is Tayo's predicament alone. So let's continue. So oftentimes our behavior is influenced by internalized criticism, even without us being aware of this, and this becomes like a seed that grows, that takes a deeper root even while we are not aware of it, but we only see the fruits in our lives. Okay, so criticism comes in two forms: the positive, which is constructive, and we have the negative, which is destructive. Plenty people and a lot of people have been criticized, and everybody has their opinion to whatever criticism they go to. And one thing is that when you are being criticized, it's not just about the words spoken, but how you interpret them that determines their impact in your life. A word can be said to you at work, or anybody can say something to you about your job or about what you do. It's a part for you to rather see it as a part of growth, or rather see it as a diminishing factor for you. So it's not about the word sometimes, or even most times, it is about how you interpret it that determines the impact in your life. Constructive criticism, which is the positive criticism, is intended by whoever gives you that feedback about what you have done, about your behavior. It is intended to help you grow, even if it is difficult to hear, because most times they do say, there's this saying that truth are bitter, and in reality sometimes some truths are bitter to hear. So still speaking about positive criticism, it is rooted in development and encouragement, while destructive criticism, however, tears down without offering a path forward. And sometimes even well-meaning criticism from loved ones, from people who meant well for us, can appear as a negative criticism. So it is necessary and important to ask, when you are being criticized, what is the purpose behind this criticism? If it is meant to help you grow, then embrace it. If not, you look at it, does this profit me? Then learn to let it go. It is when we do learn to let go of criticisms that don't profit us, that is when it becomes negative criticism. So over time, this criticism, when you hold on to it, become internalized criticism, whether positive criticism or negative criticism. Both can be internalized. So quickly, internalize criticism. It's an act of holding on to beliefs, judgments, and self-perceptions shaped by past criticism. Those past words you have listened to, or you check your Twitter page, you saw this that comment, and you felt like, oh my god, is this really me? And some people can be mean with their criticism, so it's just for you to look at it. What this person is saying, is it true? What's the essence of this criticism? Is it making me grow or not? Then you should be able, if it's positive, embrace it. If it is negative, learn to let go of it. So I mentioned that it is your approach towards it that matters, and it is what determines your attitude towards it. And this your attitude determines whether the influence is going to be a positive one or it's going to be a negative one. So speaking about positive criticism, just as we oftentimes internalize negative criticism, it is very important that we internalize positive criticism also, and it will be of great benefit to us to learn the habit of reinforcing positive criticism, and thereby we can internalize it for growth and development. For example, now when somebody tells you, oh, I love the way you dress, I love the way you act, I love the way you speak, I love when I see you, listening to you speak, it gives me motivation, it gives me encouragement to do things I plan to do. All these things is what you should internalize. It's not only when somebody tell you, oh, your work is bad, how you act is bad. It's not that one you should go over thinking over. Those positive comments that people tell you, those positive criticisms, to internalize them, to think over them, take out time to go over them, and over time you see that they influences you unconsciously. You start living that way, you start thinking that way. It's just like when you are going out in the morning and somebody tells you that, oh, this your gown looks lovely on you, you have a beautiful face, and you think about that. I'm very sure by the time you step out of your house, you are going to be walking feeling fly. Yeah, that is what criticism. Though the person can tell you, oh, but you need to adjust, your hair at the other side looks somehow, you should pack it better. I'm very sure by the next time you are going out, you are going to pay attention to that hair. So it's not as if one the person tells you that, oh, you look beautiful, but that's your hair, you didn't pack it well. You step out and say, oh man, I'm not beautiful today. That is where positive criticism can turn out to become negative criticism. Speaking about tips on how you can deal with internalized criticism, the first one is to recognize the source. And reflection is an important key in this. You have to reflect on your past experiences and relationships that might have contributed to this internalized criticism, and then you can start making a conscious effort to change this negative internalized criticism, and possibly to even a positive internalized criticism. And how can you go about this is also by renew your thought patterns. Every behavior starts from the thoughts, and for you to change the negative internalized criticism to positive internalized criticism, you have to change your thoughts about it. And how can you change your thoughts about it? It's first to identify these thoughts, then you challenge those thoughts, those negative thoughts, you challenge them for the purpose of changing them to positive thoughts. For example, Tayo that I mentioned in this story, he had to look. Oh, what I said, my work is not good enough. He has to look, what is the criteria for judging a good work? Am I following the standards? Am I meeting up to the standards? So it can also be you have to challenge those negative thoughts. You have to be realistic with them. You have to bring them to plain tables and challenge them. Oh, I said I'm not beautiful enough. I feel I'm not beautiful enough. You have to look, what's the standard of being a beautiful person, and then you can then look if you fit in. If there's something you can do, you can make effort to change it. And so it's just about challenging those negative thoughts. Sometimes those negative internalized criticisms are not negative per se, but it's just how you interpret them. It's just you saying, oh, it is bad, it is bad, it is bad. So you have to be realistic. You challenge them, make it plain, and then you change them. By challenging them, you are consciously changing them to positive thoughts. You change those negative thoughts to positive thoughts. Oh, I'm beautiful enough. Looking at these standards, my work is good. I was able to meet this criteria, I was able to meet that criteria. Yes, my work is good, but if you don't take conscious effort to do that, you might not be able to get that. So make conscious effort. Another thing we have to do in dealing with negative internalized criticism is that you be mindful of what you allow into your mind. And this is because our mind is just as a guardian, and what you allow into it is what grows. If you allow positive thoughts, if you allow positive opinions, over time that is what you will see in your life. So you have to be conscious of what you let go into your mind. You have to be conscious of what you listen to and what you see. Because, for example, you said you want to change a negative internalized criticism, and you still listen to things that reinforce this negative internalized criticism. You are not helping yourself in that way. So you have to be conscious and choose what you listen to and what you hear in order to help you change this negative internalized criticism. And lastly, it is important that you seek professional help in regards your negative internalized criticism, but it is what you can try on your own to see if you can change them, and also seek help too. It helps also in changing this internalized negative criticism. That's all I'll be discussing on internalized criticism. So in the comment section, I would like you to drop your comments in regards how internalized criticism has affected you, whether it's positive or whether it is negative. And also don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I will see you in my next episode in your life pursuits. Ensure you breathe life daily.